Hello, my name is Catherine Menchaca. I'll be demonstrating the new alternative delivery functionality today in TxDOTCONNECT. Here we have Grady Mapes from the Houston district who has a great deal of experience working with alternative delivery projects. Grady, would you like to say hi?
Sure. Good morning, Kat. I appreciate you letting me join you here in the explanation.
Yeah, we love to have you here and we're glad that you can join us today. All your input, all your comments are definitely appreciated. During today's demo, we're actually going to walk you through the new updates, the functionality of managing an alternative delivery project, as well as the conversion of the project. Also going to be diving into updating details specific to alternative delivery and viewing the location page and, of course, managing those milestones. So let's go ahead and dive in. Since we already know our project ID that we want to convert, we're going to go ahead and start off on that project details page. If we don't already have our controlling project ID open, you can simply click into your controlling project ID here and it'll open right up for you. So first off, since we're on a construction project, you'll notice that we have construction related fields on our drop-down fields. Many of these fields are going to change as we convert them. So let's go ahead and turn this into an alternative delivery project. Once we click that alternative delivery, you will get a notification stating that basically all those fields are going to change and you're going to lose some details that are unnecessary. So now that we have changed our construction project into an alternative delivery project, you'll notice some of these fields have changed into alternative delivery related fields and options. Since we're on this page, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to our project details page. But the one I'd like to point out is your operations and maintenance description box, or a few fields I'd like to point out. Actually, we're going to go ahead and scroll down to our project identifiers section. So there's a number of fields that we were able to update. As you can see, we have our DOR ID, our federal project number, our state project number field, but the new ones that I'd like to point out is your tolling authority name, your regional mobility authority name, as well as your regional mobility authority and statutory authority. Now, if our project does involve a toll, you can click yes, no, potential, but if we do click yes, you will get that notification saying, let's go ahead and provide that authority name as well. Same for your regional mobility. If we do have one involved, it will pop up with the same notification. So we have a number of really great fields here, new updates, more details we can add to this project. So right off the bat, Grady, what do you think of these overall updates?
I think this makes it much simpler in many ways. These projects are complex. There are a lot of details with them, and so this is a screen that will help keep information current and readily available. I know in the Houston area we have several different tolling authorities, and so this will be a way for us to assign a different tolling authority to a particular project and help us keep up to date on which one is related to which project. So good to see, good information, and easily available.
That's great to hear. We're always glad to hear that it's going to be a lot more user-friendly for our end users, because ultimately all these updates were catered to you guys, so that brings a lot of joy for us. But now I'd like to jump back to our left-hand navigation panel. So let me go ahead and jump into our procurement page. Now let's go ahead and roll over into our procurement details. So here we have our estimated award date, estimated fiscal year, red let, state letter of authority, as well as let type. And of course, some of these fields are populated with information that is previously input into our project details page. And of course, you have your user entry fields for your ready to let, as well as your state letter of authority. Rolling on a little further down, there's also some new features I'd like to show you in the contract summary page. So we now have your contract summary page where you have a little bit more visibility. You have your executed contract amount. You can view that on that upper right-hand corner. And if you'd like to add an organization to your contract summary, you can do so by simply clicking on that link, selecting an organization, and it'll add it for you right there in that table. And of course, if you accidentally add an organization you don't need, you can simply remove that organization by clicking that red X. A little further down, we have a few more user entry details that you can add, your type of work, your maintenance delivery type drop-down, or you have a few selections to choose from as well. And if you click your DBE or your hub goal, you'll get a pop-up notification, or you'll get a little extra field to fill in to add in those percentages. Same for your fields below in your contract limits to and from, as well as your contract preservation and mobility percentages. So that sums up our procurement page. Ultimately, my favorite page is your location page. The location page is a lot more interactive, and we have a lot of features to demonstrate here. So one thing you'll notice right off the bat is you'll see that we have some projects appearing here on our location map. Another thing I'd also like to point out, you do want to pay attention to your little polyline and draw point icons here, because this allows us to not only make edits to our controlling project ID, but it'll let us know that you can't make any edits or any changes to subordinate projects that we may have selected. So if you do want to make any changes, just make sure that you are on that particular page and you have that open. So scrolling down to our projects table, this is where we kind of have control over most things on that location map, as well as all the details below. You have everything from your map view to your controlling project ID and project name details. Now, if I want to see a second or third project, I can go ahead and highlight another row, and that will actually pop up on that location map, show me those assets, show me those details, and also show me all that project information below if we scroll down. It'll give me the location data, the payment plan control section data. So all of that is populated for you when you select that project on the projects table. This is my favorite page. So what do you think about this, Grady? What do you think about being able to see multiple projects on a centralized location, just having a little bit more interactivity?
I think the map function is great. It's going to allow people to be able to see interactions between projects, proximity, maybe provides a better visual of the project for anybody who needs to see a map. It orients them to the location, and it's going to be much clearer, I think, to be able to look at this and understand exactly where your project is and maybe bring out some things that you may need to consider as part of the project. So very helpful to be able to see this on a map and associated with other projects and just the general location around the area. So very good. I like to see this.
That's great to hear. So now that we've covered the location page, I'd like to go back to the left-hand navigation panel and just show you where to scroll for our new milestone page. And you'll actually find that milestone page right under your project management grouping. So let's go ahead and click into that. So now that we've landed on our milestones page, there's actually a number of great features to call out here. First thing is your procurement tab, your design and construction tab, as well as your operations and maintenance. So all the features that you can move around and point out and add here, you can do the same to your design and construction as well as your operation and maintenance tab. So one thing I'd like to show you is, say you don't like the placement of these milestones. Maybe you want to move them around. You actually can do so by, I'm going to actually call them box of dots. So you can move those around as you need to. So that's a really neat feature. And this is actually handy because if we want to add a milestone or multiple milestones, we can do so by clicking on your milestone link on that right-hand corner. Select any of the milestones we have here. This pop-up window will pop up with all the same milestones that you see listed. So let's go ahead and select 2, press done. And those milestones that we just added will pop up at the very bottom of our listing. The little red X is a clear indicator that these are the ones that we added. And we know that because we actually cannot delete default milestones. And it'll let you know as you hover over any of these X's, default milestones cannot be removed. So let's go ahead and move these around. Say I want to move them a little further up, we can do so. Additionally, if I want to add comments, I can add any comments to any of these milestones. The really great thing about this is you're no longer limited. You can add multiple milestones and you can do the same for any of these tabs here. So overall, with your milestones page, what do you think of these updates?
I think this is good. These projects are multiple years and they can change as the project develops. I think this will allow us to be able to track milestones as we go, and for new people who come into the project, they can always reference this to see how the project developed and understand maybe milestones that have happened in the past and orient themselves to the project. So very easy, it seems, to be able to track as a project develops. So I think it's going to be very helpful.
It's good to hear. So glad these are very user-friendly features and new updates that we have for you guys. Of course, if you ever have any questions, you can always navigate to our website. You can always email us anytime there's any issues, but we will have help pages available and we will have those resources available. But for now, that concludes our presentation. We were able to go through the location page, all those updates, all those features, and we were able to dabble in that projects table and see all the details populate as you clicked through the map and those associated projects. We were also able to dive into your projects details page, your identifiers section, as well as your procurement page. Thank you so much for giving us your feedback. We appreciate your time.